fight her.
Oh, big right hand! One punch! That is it! Forget about the count. It is over!
Introducing Il Capo, Chantelle Cameron.
Just change that movement, but here comes Cameron again. But she's looking for the big punches all the time. Super left, straight left jab there. Let's have a look at it from this angle. What a shot that is, right through the middle. It's an insult to call it a jab, it's just a straight left punch. But what a super punch it was. And she just kept the attack going, and you know what, I'm not going to argue with
you go. I think we're a bit of school. I think Bashir could be a better fighter, but maybe not better than this girl here. To be fast, trying to be aggressive, but after that Cameron just beats it up, and maybe if they were
Cameron. Yeah, maybe the stoppage could come here. She's landing a lot of shots here, taking a lot of punishment. It's very gritty and showing an unbelievable chin. She can hit. Chantelle Cameron.
Hi, I'm Susie from Women's Fight News, and today I'm here with British boxer Chantelle Cameron, who's the WBC World Super Lightweight champion. Thank you very much for joining me today, Chantelle, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
So I wanted to just start off with literally going back to the beginning, and how did you get into boxing? What got you interested?
It was mainly, I was a kickboxer, so I never planned to actually box. It was just because my kickboxing gym was in Birmingham, and I'm from Northampton. At the time, I was still at school. So I could only train like 3 times a week because I was doing my GCSEs and stuff, and I weren't really that good at school anyway, but I was getting back at midnight, going to school in the morning, like half asleep. It was just really hard. So my kickboxing coach said twice a week, just go to a local boxing gym, because he didn't want me to go to a kickboxing gym because he didn't want me to like get bad habits and like train with a different coach. So I went to a boxing gym, and that was basically it really, just to get my hands better. But then I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks after I ended up in the boxing ring. Wow. And yeah, and it stemmed from there. But the plan was never to box.
You got the love of it. You got a taste for it.
I got a taste for that first win, and I was like, just got the buzz for it.
How old were you then?
I was 17, 18, about 17 or 18.
Then you, obviously with your amateurs, tell me a little bit more about your amateur career.
Oh, my dog's snoring.
Dog sleep.
Is there snoring on me? So the amateurs, it was so I had 3 domestic fights, so I didn't even have that many, and then I went into the ABA Nationals, went into open class. I won the ABA National, and I shocked people because I beat the English champ. The English, she used to box for England internationally for years, and she was like well known, good boxer, been around a while. And I went in and beat her, some unknown girl, like 17-year-old, and I think it shocked a few people and made people open their eyes. So that was my sixth boxing fight. Then from there, I went straight on to boxing for England. I went straight into the World Championships. Remember, I got to the quarterfinals, boxed a Russian, and God, she could really hit. I remember she cracked my nose, and I've never been hit like it before. Like, she was really strong. And so I went out into the quarterfinals, and that was my first international. And then straight after, I went straight into the EU Nationals, won a silver medal, and then I think I boxed again for England. So then I didn't box domestically after that. I just boxed for England. And then straight after, I boxed in Sweden, beat a world champion, and that literally automatically got me onto Team GB. But the weird thing is before I got the phone call to go on Team GB, I applied to go in the army to box, And I can remember that day I got a phone call or a letter. I think it was a letter. I got a letter from the army saying I was invited for an interview. And that exact same day, I had a phone call from Rob McCracken, the director of WBC, saying they wanted me to go up there. So it's quite weird, really, how it worked out.
Yeah, because any kind of alteration in that timing could have ended up very differently.
Could have been in the army.
Yeah.
Life would have been completely different. So it's quite a whirlwind start to my amateur career, because from 3 domestic fights to winning the national title to then boxing for England, and then within a year I was boxing for Team GB. So it was fast moving.
And then your debut was 2017?
Yeah, 2017, May 2017 in Cardiff.
And tell me a little bit more about your pro career so far. Like, what's been your highlight? I mean, is it winning? I mean, obviously up there is going to be your last fight, winning your world belt.
Yeah, so before that, it was probably winning my IBO title, because I think it was my fifth boxing fight, and it was in Leicester. I had a crowd behind me, and Leicester's not too far from Northampton, so it was nice because I had a good crowd. Boxed Ivanov, and obviously she's gone on to do good things herself. And remember, I stopped her, and I think it was one of my best performances. So that was a great night, especially because it's in front of people that I love and care about. So that was special. And then my world title next after that. Obviously, it would have been nice if I had, again, people that my family and friends there, but just winning the world title was enough for me, especially WBC.
Yes. The most prestigious one.
Yeah, exactly. It was an amazing night.
And going back to the IBO, because I feel like it doesn't get enough recognition, because it's like some people, mainly in women's, some people count it as though it is one of the full world title belts, and some people don't. So it's really difficult, because really this is your second world title.
It is, yeah, but I think even I'd forget that I was an IBO world title holder. So even now I'm like, oh, it's my first world title, but it isn't. It is my second. But I think it's because the WBC is known for being prestige, and it's like the best belt in boxing. Personally, I think, and a lot of people think. So I'm one of them. I fall into that category where I'm like, it's the main world title.
And with going back to the last fight you had, how was that whole experience, being, obviously no crowds and being in the bubble?
To be honest, I actually quite enjoyed it, because you had no distractions. Like, usually it's so easy to go see your friends. Friends are coming for tickets. You're socialising, you're talking to everyone, and you don't get enough time to sleep and recover, and you're just doing a million things at once. So when you're in the bubble, you can't do that. So you're literally just in your room, and it gives you time to just probably get in the zone and get mentally prepared just as much as physically. So for me, I actually really enjoyed it, and I'd be happy to go back into that bubble again. But it's just not fighting without a crowd, which was quite weird. I remember when I was walking out, and I was just like, yeah, it's quiet in there. And I remember I was like, I've got to fight. And when I was actually boxing in the ring, there was a couple of rounds where I was thinking, God, this is weird, because there's just nothing there. But it weren't too bad. I think when you're in the fight and you're looking at your opponent, I think you're in that zone, ain't you, where you just got to win. You got to do whatever you can to win. But I remember I landed a shot, and someone in the crowd cheered, and I was like, oh, they should be doing that. Maybe that's what I thought. I was thinking, oh, they should be showing. I remember thinking, I was like, who's that?
Just like the one voice.
Yeah, one voice. I was like, that's random. I'm used to it being quiet in it.
And obviously, it's now everyone goes on about the wardrobe malfunction with your opponent.
Yeah. I think that's the highlight of the fight. I think everyone's going to remember that fight from the lip slip.
So, could you notice? Was that putting you off at all?
Yeah, so it didn't just happen once. It happened a couple of times. So the first time it happened, I kind of just looked at her and like thought, sort yourself out. Then when you think to yourself, a woman to a woman, think quick, like pull your top down. But it kind of like, she was just, I don't know what she was doing. I was thinking, we've got a box, like come on. So I was like, do I hit her or do I, like, I didn't first for like a couple of seconds thinking, what do I do? And then she sorted it, and then it happened again. I was like, oh, do you know what, I'm going to hit you because it's boxing, ain't it? But the first time happened, it was a distraction, and then after that I thought, oh no, it's not my top. But then I did actually look down at my top thinking, oh, like, is my top okay? I remember when it happened, I remember like I was moving around, like making sure that she couldn't hit me. But I was looking at my top thinking, like, make sure I don't slip out. It was quite weird. It was a bit weird.
You know what? I was watching when she first came out, thinking, I don't know about this top here. When she first came out,
it was very bold, very, very bold.
So, any going back to sort of your whole career, is there one particular fight that you think's your toughest fight?
So there was a fight against Delau. I can't remember. It was in Scotland. Can't remember what number fight that was. And I can remember I think like a thumb went in my eye, and my eye was closing like really quick. And I can remember I was like, she was really tough as well, and she was. I really rated her because she was so tough and she could whack as well. So I'd say it was between Delau and Sanchez, because Sanchez, so smart, very clever, and I really respected Sanchez.
That's a good fight.
So it's out with them two.
Yeah, that was a good fight, that one. The Sanchez. It's quite impressive. Because that was that yeah, because
York last November.
You put yourself into some good clever positions, haven't you, with mandatories?
Yeah, so that was down to my management. It was great work by my management. They got me in mandatory position at lightweight and super lightweight. So that was last year. So that was all down to my management, MTK.
That was really clever. The fact that you got yourself in a position for two.
It was, wasn't it? It was a good move. It was a really good move.
Just to make sure that you can't be avoided.
Yeah, somewhere or another I'm going to get a shot.
Yeah, that's it. So moving on to that, what, you know, who do you want next, really? Do you know, you want to unify? Do you want Katie Taylor?
So Katie Taylor, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm not gonna be waiting around. I think lightweight is a better weight division for me. I think I box better at lightweight, and I feel better at lightweight. I feel like I'm fast, I'm sharper. I just prefer it. But obviously, I'm not going to be waiting around. I want world titles, and my dream's to unify a division and be undisputed champion. So I'm kind of just cracking on with my own career, and at the moment it's set at super lightweight. So the plan is to unify, and I've been told my next fight's Unification fight. So that'll be good. Who? I have, but I don't really want to drop it out there. But I've been phoning them. Be a good fight.
Because obviously you've got Christina Ventado, you've got Kaylee Reese, Mary McGee. So yeah. So hopefully,
one of them.
One of them. So maybe lining them all up one after the other, isn't it? That's the plan.
Dominoes.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a good weight division. It's competitive. It's we're all the world champions are tough fights, and that's what I'm boxing for, tough fights, and I want the belts. So it spurred me on. I feel like now the best of me is going to come out because I'm fighting the best. And I always said at the start of my career, the better my opponent, the better I perform. So I'm excited, and I'm really motivated now.
I was going to say, which one of those do you think is going to be the toughest fight? But to be honest, they're all pretty tough.
All of them are tough. Yeah, they're all good, and respect all of them. They're all good fighters, and I'm looking forward to sharing them in with all of them, taking them belts, sharing them in with taking them belts.
And what about even Jessica McCaskill? Because I know you were obviously going to be mandatory for her, and then before she moved up.
Yeah, I'll be happy to move up, and she's got all the belts at the moment, but she's got to come through Cecilia in the rematch. if she comes through that, then I'll move up a weight and happy to fight her.
Okay, so you'd move up to her weight.
Yeah. So that's another. Sorry, dog. That's another plan is to move up again. So capable. I want to be multiple weight world champion. So why not?
And I've had an interview. Your dog's snoring again.
Sorry, I'm moving, but it just climbed back on me. He's like.
Happy dog, happy anyway, sleeping happy.
Hold on. Do it. Sorry. I'm moving.
There we go. You're back there. So I was going to say, recently I had an interview with Melissa Hernandez.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Who had quite a few things to say, because she said basically her team have told her that there's around, well, it's probably less than 30 days now for your team to get back as to whether you're going to fight her, because she's number one opponent in the WBC rankings. And she said that she watched your last fight, wasn't impressed, and she had a lot to say really about it, because she obviously wants to fight and wants to take your belt. So what can you say about all that?
I've seen it and I just had to laugh. I was thinking, listen, get in your lane. I'm going to end up retiring you. So she's not got a belt and I'm going for unifications. So I'll be happy to fight her, yeah. She wants my belt and thinks she's taking it off me. Not a chance, not going to happen. I won that belt and it's not going anywhere. All I'm doing is collecting now. So don't know where she got the 30 days from, because I've certainly not heard that, but if she gets herself a belt and my plan to unify, then bring it on, and I'll put her in retirement as well. Not impressed. I was thinking, bloody hell, the girls are starting half bigger than me. A box smart.
That's good. It was a good fight. It was a very smart fight. It was very good. And I wanted to move on then to talking about, obviously you've had your big fight, your world fight, but you hadn't fought, since the year before. So how did you keep motivated during the pandemic? Because obviously to keep fit and to go for this opportunity that's just come up.
It was a bit frustrating, because obviously I was meant to box in April, then I was meant to box in May, and obviously everyone was in the same boat really, so I just kept thinking, just got to stay ready, because you don't know when you're going to get the opportunity. And I just thought, like, I can't risk slipping up and being caught with 2 weeks or 3 weeks notice. So that was my motivation, is just knowing that the world title shot was coming, and some time or not, it was going to happen. So that basically just kept me driven. But sometimes I was like, oh God, I'm burning myself out here, just give me a fight date. But it balanced out well. And there was my team were really good as well. They was kind of like worried that I was overtraining them, because they didn't have a date either. So they would make me like slow down a little bit and come off my peak. And then when the fight was announced, that's when I hit my peak. So to be fair, again, I'm just grateful for the team around me, because they made sure that I was fully prepared and I didn't burn myself out. Because people do overtrain all the time. They think they're not, but you do overtrain. But my team kept me in line.
Because I was going to ask you about your whole team, because obviously you had a big change up beginning of last year. So you got your new NTK, it's Jamie Moore. How do you feel like what they've brought to you to get you to this point now? Because obviously we touched on it before, that they've got you into a clever position where you were mandatory in 2 weight divisions. And what do you think they brought to you to get you to this point?
They make me box smart now, and I think you've seen that in my last fight. The Chantelle before was with Jamie and Nige would have gone in there and I would have stood toe to toe. I would have stood toe to toe and they would have just got caught up in a fight. But they're very, I wouldn't say strict, but they're very like, box Chantelle, be smart Chantelle. Don't waste shots. Like they're very, they keep me like moving and keep me switched on and keep me not being stupid. So in the corner, Nige kept on saying, don't give her the winning lottery ticket, because like she was bigger than me, she could whack, and all it takes is one shot. So Nigel kept on like making me stay switched on, saying like, don't be stupid, don't switch off, don't give us shots because you can take the fight away. Whereas I think I need that in the corner to stop me from my ego getting the better of me and going there and trading off with someone who is stronger than me and who could hurt me when I can box. So I feel like that's what the best thing they've done for me is keep me in line a bit and stop me from having a scrap when I don't need to, because I can box, and I think I've proved that now as well, that I'm not just go forward throwing punches for the sake of it. Like I think, and I've got good movement and I've got a good boxing IQ as well, just when I need to use it.
Yeah, no, definitely. With that last fight, you definitely proved that you were outboxing it, weren't you? So,
but I think that's down to Jamie and Nigel. Like they've done, I think they've trained me really well, but every camp we're working on different. There's always something different we're adding. So they call it a trolley, like a shopping basket and a trolley, and we just always add in. So whatever my opponent brings to me, I'm just pulling stuff out of this trolley of my basket. So yeah, I love working with them, and I'm already looking forward to my next fight because I'm already working on things, and I think can't wait to put that on show.
Right, yeah, because you want that passion, don't you? To have that drive and that passion to.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, what's your favourite bit of training then? What's your favourite bit, and what's your least favourite?
So I love doing pads. Especially like fast pads when you got to be switched on, reactions. I hate sparring. Not a fan of sparring. I get nervous. I don't know why. I think it's because I always want to like be the best, and I'm the worst critic of myself. So I always feel like I'm not doing as well as I should be. I just always want to be like punch perfect, and you can't be. Some days you spar and you can be shit. And it's just simple fact that you're tired and you can't always win every spar, but I get proper angry about it, and I'm like, oh, like the whole day I'll be fuming that I didn't spar as good as I should. So I absolutely hate sparring, so I don't know what day I'm going to be good and what day I'm not. I used to hate doing weight training, but I absolutely love it now. I've got a really good S&C coach, Johnny Velocity, and I actually love running, just not sprints.
The longer distance.
Yeah, long distance. Not built for speed.
And I was going to ask you as well, in terms of inspiration, is there any boxers that have inspired you through your career or at the beginning of your career that you look up to?
So weirdly enough, it used to be Ronda Rousey. But obviously she's MMA, but I used to like really look up to her, especially where she used to walk in the ring. She used to just like basically just like tear up, and I just liked her attitude towards training and opponents and stuff. Like she had no fear, and I really looked up to that. Boxing wise, it'll be Mike Tyson. Just savage.
Did you watch his fight? Just go on.
I watched the highlights. I didn't really want to watch it because I want to remember the old Mike Tyson, but I couldn't help myself but watch the highlights.
I think people actually said it was actually not because some people weren't looking forward to it at all, but they actually said it was it was quite nice to see some old spark of him, and
Yeah, I heard that as well, but I still just want to remember the old Mike Tyson. But the highlights, I thought, bloody hell, still impressive.
And talking about MMA, actually, I was going to ask you, because obviously you're friends with Molly McCann and some MMA fighters. Is that something you'd want to go into at some point, or obviously we've heard Chris as well.
I actually would because I feel like I won my world title in Thai boxing. I won a world title in kickboxing, so I've got the martial arts behind me. I can box. All I've got to learn is how to grapple, and I'll be flying. And sometimes I go back and do a bit with my Thai boxing coach. Like just when I'm like out of camp, I'm like, I'll put the pads on, throw some knees and elbows around, and throw some low kicks. So yes, still got the kicks and the elbows, just not the grappling. But I'd have a go. I think I'd regret it if I didn't have a go at it after boxing. I'd definitely regret it. So I think I'll end up having an MMA fight, I think, at some point.
That'd be really good.
Yeah. Put them little gloves on me. Throw some haymakers.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I bet it's quite a shock actually to then suddenly be punching in the cage, just because it'd be like so different that like to
Yeah,
having
because
having the gloves on.
Knees, the takedowns, the low kick. So when I was doing Thai boxing, I remember the low. When I first started doing Thai boxing, I remember some nights I couldn't walk up my stairs. My legs would be that battered that I could not walk up my stairs. So yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
Yeah. Makes you tough though.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Yeah. In terms of outside of boxing, what passions have you got outside of boxing? Sort of passions and hobbies. I mean, actually, I know I did a Q&A with you. You mentioned Harry Potter. You love Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter. Just Netflix really. Seeing my friends, hanging out with my friends, dogs, love dogs, and just anything really, anything non-boxing related. So when I'm not boxing, I like to be away from boxing. So I don't want to be like watching boxing fights all the time, talking about boxing all the time. I like to just be a normal girl and do normal things.
Zone out, sort of get some away time from it.
Yeah, just like have a break. I think it's good to have a break. Like I do it day in, day out. So when I'm with my friends and stuff, it's just no boxing, just talk anything but boxing, and it's nice.
And if there's any advice you could give your younger self, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Don't put so much pressure on myself. And I would have gone to university. That's one of my biggest regrets is not going to university.
What would you have studied? What?
Sports coaching. I want to be a PE teacher. And I would have had more of a life when I was younger, not put so much into boxing. Like people could take that the wrong way, but when I was on GB, I feel like that was my life, and it made me really poorly. Like when I didn't qualify. So if I could turn back time, it would have been completely different. So I think as much as it's good to be dedicated and sacrifice your life to boxing, at the same time, it's not healthy.
Get the balance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's balanced. Now I have a massive balance and I'm a lot happier for it. And boxing's not my life. There's more to my life than boxing. I do love boxing, don't get me wrong, but I do like my normal life too.
Yeah, it's nice to have a well-rounded sort of life and lots of different.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, it's been lovely to speak to you, Chantelle, and you know, I'm looking forward to finding out who your next opponent's going to be and for which belt. Yeah,
I'm hoping it will be signed, sealed, and delivered soon. I've been told about it, but nothing's concrete yet, so I'll just bide my time. But if it comes out, who I think it is, it's going to be a great fight, exciting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Bringing another belt home to Northampton.
Brilliant. Well, it's been really great.
Thank you
very much.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click like now and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.